I'm really, really passionate about customer experience. And I think that sometimes what's lost in call center environments is that it is, at the end of the day, the business of people. And I think that one of the downfalls to old school ticketing systems is that it's no longer about people. It's almost becomes like data entry for those agents that are working. It's the same thing. It's how many tickets there are. We're never thinking of it in terms of the human beings that are on the receiving end. You have to love people to work in customer experience, because customers, almost have like a bad name just because we assume that they're a problem, and they're not a problem. They're a human being that needs our help. And we have such an awesome opportunity to be able to spread kindness and take care of them. And so my philosophy is sort of that we need to create an amazing experience for them. And it has to feel that way, versus thinking of it as just like a ticket, nope, that's a human being that has a life that needs this little thing taken off their plate so that they can have room to breathe, especially now, like with our COVID days and how things are so difficult. Us being able to solve a little problem for somebody goes a whole lot further than just a ticket. So that's sort of where I come from.
It goes without saying, customer service can be a thankless job, and even, the best spirited individual can find those tougher days. So for me, it's looking at the agent experience and understanding what the points of friction are and removing those. So what is already a tough job doesn't have to be any tougher. So for us, we run a subscription business. Having an easy glance at a customer's entire history in a single view takes a lot of the little fatigues you find in the day, hopping between tabs, away from the experience. So for me, making sure we optimize all of our tools to create the best experience for agents on the back end always leads to the performance results that you could chase using other methods as well.
One of the things we really like about Kustomer is doing rides for kids. You might have a call with the driver, and then you have a text with the parent, and then an email later from the parent asking for information. And it's so much easier for my team to follow the breadcrumbs and figure out what's going on. So it's easy for the agent, it's easy for the customer, and it's easier for everyone involved to make sure any less than optimal experience is resolved quickly and without a lot of pain.
As we started to move forward with our sort of selection process, we were kind of looking at some of those companies that were, again, tried and true, that were trying to evolve. But the thing I'll never forget, my director of digital strategy, who was very partnered with me in the selection process, he says, I don't think we're going to find a company that's different than Kustomer. Kustomer's a beast, and I'll never forget the phrase, customer is a beast. And the reason for that was because it was going to solve all of the issues that we really needed in having a great omni-channel platform. But in addition, we were going to have access to so much data that was going to make us better as a company, which is not something that we always think about when we're in a contact center. Again, we've got to think of how the contact center can become a profit center. And that we knew was going to help us because we were going to have data that was going to make us better.
We kind of hit a transition point in the business of we needed to prep for scale in a big way. So for me, it was simplifying our tools by getting everything under one roof, saving ourselves money, and just making it a cleaner experience for the agents all at the same time.
One of my favorite quotes about the whole experience was from one of my reps who told me it felt like he was moving from a PC to a Mac. In that, it can be a similar experience, but Kustomer, while daunting, being brand new, it felt easier, and he felt like once he got going with it, he was really going to be able to do really well. And he noticed the power and kind of the potential of it immediately, even while he was frustrated with knowing done versus solved and the little stuff and understanding his workflows.
Our launch day was November 7th. And so that's getting really tight we had planned for the end of October, but something ended up happening on our end. I don't remember what the situation is, but we're still going to do it. We're still going to go forward with this. And so I think that what was really interesting is we were prepared for extreme volume. During Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it always happens whenever we do a big site-wide sale. Everybody wants a retro applied coupon or things like that. So we get very, very busy. And I think what we were shocked at is, one, how much more streamlined it was, how many omni-channel, like how many people would email in and then chat in. So we had so many things that ended up merging, like it cut our tickets down significantly. And so yes, at the end of the year last year, we were like, oh my goodness, we have to have way more performance-based conversations than we've ever had to have, because it went from being all about quantity, like how many tickets can you solve, kind of what I was saying, which honestly never jived with me coming from person to person retail. I'm so outgoing, and my teams have always been so outgoing. So recognizing we had some bad apples, to put it bluntly, that we really needed to work on and develop. And what was so great is we were able to develop people because we just had to introduce new thought processes around how you take care of people, and that you don't always have to send a macro, don't always have to send a predefined content. You literally can use your time that you now have, because you don't have 7 conversations going at once, to be better with the person that you're helping.
As we have grown these last 2 years, I don't think anything exists anymore that we brought over, because it's better now. Like we're customizing it more and more for our team's needs and for our community needs. So, we brought stuff over, but we've changed it since then, and that's one of the things I love about Kustomer, is that it is so customizable. And I have 2 managers that I've really trained up, and they're my admins, and we'll be like, hey, let's do this. And they say, okay. And they go and the workflows and they tweak it, and it's a better experience. It's routing things differently. It's, whatever it is. And it's, so, we brought it up for the comfort level, but then we immediately started really improving upon that.
And if you guys are looking at the trends for what's happening this year, there isn't going to be in-store Black Fridays. I think e-commerce is going to have an incredible opportunity this year, and a lot of these sales are starting in like October. So if you're an e-commerce, retailer, I think it's smart to switch now, like really, do it, because you'll have so much phenomenal data through October, November, December, that you don't want to miss out on that. And it is so simple to pick up. Like, I just can't stress it enough. If people have iPhones, this is a piece of cake. It's almost like having like the iPhone, Facebook type. Everything is like, where would that, oh, it's right there. Let's see. Oh, I wonder. Oh, it's right here. So it is just a very simple thing, and something that, I'm thrilled that we decided to do right before our peak season.
The biggest thing was really handle time. So I think like across the board, I kind of spoke to like, hopping around tabs being something that would impact, it's just like an added friction during the day. We saw decreases in handle time anywhere from like 40 to 60% across different conversation categories, which is like gigantic when you look at working against, staffing predictions and stuff like that. When I talk about agent happiness, if you look at the internal surveys we do to see just how people are on like a quarterly basis, a lot of the like questions that would indicate day-to-day stressors, we improved on those results post customer switch. So I'd like to say there's some correlation there. Being able to prioritize the inbox in the smartest way possible means that, we're putting priority customers at the top of the pile, and ultimately getting better results on the CSAT surveys, because, we're getting to those people first.
The fact that the platform is easier, to the point where we've been able to actually focus our leadership on actual leading instead of micromanaging, which I think is another call center curse, is that everything turns into micromanagement. We've been able to truly develop people in what I feel is the most honorable and noble career, which is the service of helping other people. And it gets lost in the abyss of really complicated workflows. And so Kustomer has given me, even truly as a leader, so much value, because I'm actually able to lead people for who they are based on their individual strengths and opportunities. And it's been really incredible from a human level as well.
My recommendation is, don't worry about the time, just go for it right away. It pays back so quickly that, it's really worth investing in. And like, if you take that moment to pause, like I did, maybe like a month before we actually kicked it off, that was like 1 month that we didn't have it up and running that we probably would have benefited from. So I would say don't let the possibilities are like a great thing, and not, a large roadmap item that you need to be worried about.
I'm always shocked when customer service tools don't have great customer service. You should know your audience and know that they expect a lot out of you, and customer does that incredibly well. I love that when I, mentioned like, it'd be great to have this feature. Sometimes I'm on a meeting with the product team who's working on that feature in the next quarter, and they want to hear my feedback. And it's so rare to find a company that truly wants to listen to their customers. Like, you can tell customers' pitch is also what they believe inside the company. And so that's made it really refreshing to work with. Our customers are happy. And so it's been such a great experience that I advocate for it even when customer doesn't ask me to, in my networks and my circles, because I'm one of those people that when I find something that I like and works really well for me, I'm going to tell people.